knowing when it's time. And when it's time, it doesn't have to be messy. It can be, but it doesn't have to be.
You know, she makes it look easy but when you have them boys by yourself, they be like, oh, bet he alone, in him on 3, 1, 2, 3, in him.
So y'all debrief after worship.
On this night, we did.
This was great.
on this night, we debriefed.
Yo, what's up? Welcome back to the second part of our conversation with them Corrys, hanging with the Corrys. Hope you enjoy part 2 of this conversation.
And but yeah, it's a process. It's a process. I know you want to transition into talking about ministry.
Nah, we flowing.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's a process, and I mean, talking about ministry when we first met, I ain't gonna lie, like in the environment. I mean, I think we both can talk about. Like in the environment that we were in and just the stage of the journey, everything was just about like building, doing things fast, doing stuff for position, affirmation, like purpose. And it was an environment that like had me tunnel vision, but it also had me, I'm a relationship person, but it had me sometimes. Let me stop trying to be deep. There was times I was like jealous of Darius because it was just like, man, he's gifted like with the art. Like that man, like I'm doing my little graphic design thing, think I'm doing something, and then all of a sudden like boom, like this man in Bible study drawing a whole like novel. And I was like, bro, like why is he so nice?
Meanwhile, I'm insecure as a mug over here. I'm like,
you know what I'm saying? And you don't know that, right? Yeah. But like just in that time period. For us, we didn't have the friendship like we should have because my focus was so much on church, and we have we've told our story of just navigating through ministry and everything like that. I'm just interested to hear like from you guys, like on the ministry aspect, how did y'all navigate through that? I mean, we spent a lot of time together, like the 4 of us, a lot of time. So like. How was navigating through ministry, things that you've learned through it, anything that you want to talk about, feel comfortable talking about, but just like, and just know I'm not jealous of you anymore.
I think, first of all, one of the blessings of ministry was that we met you guys. So, 100%, like, let's keep it funky. I met her. She was planting the church at the time. She was like, hey, why don't you come to my church? I was like, all right, if I want her, I got to go where she's going, because I was at a church. And, I got acclimated at that church because, that's the only, that wasn't the only way. But, so it was our relationship that blessed each other. But, so, yeah, with our ministry, there was a lot of, I guess we could say growing pains. A lot of things were kind of forced to mature quicker than they should have.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of, just hitting the ground running. There was a lot of frustration. I can say that the blessing that I had there was in that I don't think there was another avenue for me to be kind of forced to step in ministry. That there was a mandate. There was like, look, you're needed here. You need to do it. I think before that, like the church I was going to previously, I could be a part of the congregation. I could just come, eat, go home.
Yeah.
Come, eat, go home. But where we were in ministry, it was like, you here, you're gonna work.
Yeah.
And without that, I don't think I would have tapped into, I do have a passion for teaching.
Yeah.
I do have a passion for studying and learning and ministering in some fashion. Because that was an avenue where it was like, you're getting put to work. You
don't got no choice.
I don't care about them cameras. Tuesday, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And so that's one thing I was extremely thankful for, So yeah, I don't know where I was landing with that, but
no, you good.
I am eternally, because again, if I was still at where we are now, I would have been pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
Well fed, but how much am I, I'm getting all this energy, this proverbial, these calories that Christ has given me, and I'm still just sitting there like, all right, well, I'm not hitting the streets. So I am thankful for that portion of where we were.
Yeah.
So y'all are in ministry now. I see y'all teaching. Y'all have 2 children. Y'all are married. How do y'all navigate ministry, doing ministry with everything that y'all still have going on?
Oh goodness, I don't know if that's even something that we've completely figured out how to balance. First off, you have to realize that your home is your ministry too.
Yeah.
And so, there's a proper, actually, I've been trying to stop using the word balance. I can't remember, what's his name? Old buddy that said there's no such thing as balance. We know him too. I see him as plain as day. Anyway, but pretty much that balance indicates that some things have to be equal.
Yeah.
But it's really about prioritizing. But, one thing that we quickly have to realize is that, like, our boys come first, our marriage come first, and we attend a church and we are under leadership where that is sort of understood.
Yeah.
Also, and it's sort of, I don't necessarily want to say it's difficult for me to talk about where we went and where we are now, because part of it is a little difficult. Not to the point that I won't talk about it, but it's one of those things where I have good memories, and I have memories that I wish were different.
Yeah.
And I think that is, I don't classify what I experience as church hurt, but I do think that is how people who are navigating church hurt don't get over it, because it's like, man, I had some good moments. They married us. They helped us through the pornography situation. I still keep in contact with our former first lady, like, here and there, like there's still a love and respect there, but there's also knowing when it's time.
Yeah.
Knowing when it's time. And when it's time, it doesn't have to be messy. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. Yeah. And even if it is messy, I think that God calls us to a place where he's like, you have to reconcile that. You have to at least come to grips with, this is what it was and this is what it is now, and we can go wherever we need to go from here. But in terms of how we navigate it now, I think we are at a church where we are seen as our gifts exist beyond what they can do for the church. And I think that is so crucial. So crucial, where it's like, pastors, I can see how you would want to have a gifted person stay with you and stick with you and not move on. And so it becomes, you're supposed to do this for me. You're supposed to do this under my leadership. Like, this is your path, because you want to have gifted people with you. You want to have gifted people under you. You want to have gifted people extending from you. But there also is a even more meaningful way to lead, to say, you are gifted, and I'm going to help you build your gift, whether it's for this house or somebody else's.
That's good leadership.
I think that has transformed how we view ministry. That has transformed how we show up at church. We lead the student ministry at our church. And listen, these I was about to say these kids, they ain't gonna watch this, but the students, is middle and high school students, like, they're asking real questions, and they're out here, like, really wanting real, authentic, genuine answers. And it's been great to see what God has been doing through this student ministry, and just like the last since January. Like, we prayed first prayers of salvation. Like, I didn't even know what to say. I'm like, oh Lord, like, we got students that are saying right here, right now, they want to give their life to Christ.
Salvation right now
was not the plan at all. It was not in the program, but we had students like, hey, this is what I want to do. And one of the other volunteers that are on our team, he was like, y'all are our leaders. You need to lead this moment. And I was like, Lord Jesus,
call on him.
What do you say?
Yeah.
And that was one of the most meaningful times, I think, for us and for those students, because it was the starting point of them really beginning to open their heart up to God and to open up to us, because we were still the new kids on the block, and, y'all know how it is. Like, you trying to get teenagers to like you.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they love Darius. I have
Because Darius smiles.
Right. I listen, but I have youth ministry experience, right? At our old church, I led youth ministry. He was doing camera stuff.
Yeah.
And this is the first time, this is also, golly, first time we've led ministry together. And I think that also is different. It's
dope.
like, it's not your thing. It's y'all's thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
Go ahead, babe.
Okay, so yes, we are the youth team leaders at our church.
It's about to be 3 parts.
Sorry, y'all. Let me know something.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, they said yo. Should have got real
Blow
comfortable.
that out, bro. Start a Patreon. You can't get you blow that foot out.
Listen,
Right.
So yeah, we
you get these toes on Patreon.
I ain't want to say that. You know what I'm saying?
$5 a
Appreciate
month,
you. One thing I appreciated about our church, and I'm gonna try to keep it as brief
You good,
as
bro?
possible.
We're gonna make it 2 parts anyways.
Okay.
So you good. We money.
The part that I really admired about our church that we're currently at. So I had a preceding relationship because that's where I was going before I met Cicely.
Right.
At some point after we started attending a couple of times, this is when we were looking for a new church home. The pastor who when I was initially there was not the pastor. We had a conversation, and I think he was filling us out, seeing where we were in ministry. And one of the things he said was, what if what your gift is not required for you to have a pedestal? What if you never make it up on the stage? Where's your passion then? And so I think that he was really trying to fill out who's really here for the ministry versus who's here for themselves.
Yeah.
Because I think that I already knew that he was like, look, I'm here to teach. I'm here to minister. I don't care. I'm not here for none of that. I'm here for the people.
Right.
And he wanted those people to still be on that same trajectory. And we said that. We were like, we know that we can do what we can do outside. It's just a draw that we have to be wherever God has us to be at this church.
Yeah.
Another great thing is our associate pastor was then, when we had conversations, he was like, look, we don't need you, but I can see you here. I can see you here. Just pray about it.
I love that.
And
Yeah.
so what I immediately felt is that, the analogy I can give is that we were given a pot big enough to grow in. We had space of being like, all right, establish where you're supposed to be. We'll give you the space to grow, wherever that is, God willing, versus we're going to put you in the spot and you figure out how to grow here. And it was just like, I really didn't have the option to figure it out where we're supposed to be in church.
Yeah.
And I think it's weird that we joke about us being voluntold to be in the position, but it felt so organic when we were put in that spot, and how we transitioned into being the leaders.
Yeah.
Another thing that is kind of like I hate the term MSG, but the extra seasoning on us being youth team leaders is that now that we are parents, there's a certain je ne sais quoi about how we affect those kids. I am getting a preview of what my kids are going to encounter, regardless of what we contribute. They're going to go to school. They're going to be around kids in their neighborhood. They're going to be around girls.
Yes.
And so I'm like, this is what kids are dealing with when they're away from their parents. And I'm talking about, we deal with kids of sanctified parents.
Yeah.
Parents that have been in the church and they still like, I need salvation.
Yeah.
And so this place, like my wife was saying, that it's put us in is a blessing, but it's also been like, man, this has really been a punch to the gut of how impactful it was to be where we were and how important it is for us to actually move in the space that God put us in through our church.
Yeah. And I love that, man, because it's like you're in my head. Because Cicely said, like, well, we were the new kids on the block. True, new space. But here's the thing that I love about God, even with both of our journeys, and this is what probably going to be one of my next tattoos, like nothing is wasted. Because what could have seemed like a waste in a season that brought pain, good moments and painful moments, God used as preparation to make you guys be seen as, hey, we don't need y'all, but we see something in y'all, but we actually see y'all before we see what's in y'all. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I see the person, and I actually care about you guys first, but you also have a gift. But let's not make the gift your identity. When it's time, it's time. Cool.
Yeah.
But now you guys are in a space, which is really cool as parents, that you're getting a glimpse of. So you the place that you're in right now, God prepared you for it in your past. You're now currently in the present place, but you also are getting a glimpse at your future. And now there's like probably a sense of responsibility, like, oh shoot, well, not only to these students, but also it's like, hey, God, thank you so much that we're getting almost like pre-parenting training for this next stage in our lives. Not saying that y'all those kids' mom and dads, but you spend that much time with them that you're knowing, hey, what is this generation going through? And our kids are going to be different, but very similar stuff, right? So I just think that God is really kind in that to love us enough to not allow seasons to kill us. And I tell people all the time, man, like, even with everything that we went through, I'm thankful that my love for God, like, I still love him.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like I'm done with church, like, completely. Like, I'm done with God. I'm done with it all. Some painful moments for sure, but you know, each season has prepared us for where we are now, even to do stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's really cool, just the space that you guys are in, and I love what you said about y'all are getting to do it together. Yeah. You know, I think that's special, man. Like, and your kids see that as well. Like they're sponges at these ages, and they observe everything. So, you know, this is, you know, we've talked about like how you guys met, getting engaged, married, you know, some rough patches, growing through that in ministry. Where are the Corrys now? Like, talk to me about like what you guys are excited about. I want to hear what you're excited about, what you're, you know, what's got your wheels turning, and then when we land the plane, I want to hit some hot seat. Some we've been real deep, you know. I got to get shallow. You know what I'm saying?
I got a question.
Let's go.
Yeah. But I want to hear just like if there's anything that you just been processing through, or just like, hey, like things that you're excited about, anything y'all want to talk about.
This is definitely a moment of, I think, transition for us.
Okay.
You know, you gotta pause and get your words.
Oh, I thought I was about to win my bet. No. I thought I was about to win my bet.
Nah.
You see my fist ball, I was like,
Nah. I mean, now I am no longer a thug ever since I had kids, but no, not crying in this moment, I don't think. But I do think that it's really a moment of transition for us, because, and really evaluation, assessment, things of that sort. You know, I think it's always important to do like a gut check and see where, like, all right, God, you know, I think I'm hearing from you. I think I'm on the right path.
Yeah.
For us, just like, I mean, Darius, you know, hopefully your job ain't watching, but he mentioned that he's been getting his resume in order because that feels like it might be some form of transition there, whatever that looks like, whatever God provides there, right?
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Cover her. I mean,
Right.
cover him.
You know, and for me, even at my own role where I work, it's been like, okay, well, how am I actually supposed to be showing up here?
Yeah.
And it be meaningful? Because I do work for a Christian organization, which can kind of make things complicated, because it's like, if it's a Christian organization, does it mean that I'm supposed to be here? Like, God, let me, you know, really turning my ear towards God to listen about, you know, what are we really supposed to be committing to? And we have talked about starting our own podcast, right? Actually, I will say that I feel like it was inspired some by you all. It's interesting how, you know, y'all admire us, but truly we admire y'all as well.
Absolutely. Hold that thought 1 second.
Uh-huh.
What's funny, I'm gonna throw it literally right back. When we started our YouTube channel, the way we were able to do it was because of y'all, because we had bought y'all's camera.
True.
Y'all remember that?
Golly, I forgot about that.
Like, that's like, this is full circle. Like, really, for those who don't know, we had a YouTube channel. This, like, it started as Growing in Love with the Smiths, and we had this I don't know, it's like a Canon joint.
Yeah.
You had to flip the joint on the side, and we used to put it like on a bookcase, and we were able to do that because of y'all.
Iron out here sharpening iron.
So throwing it back to y'all. Yeah. All right, cool.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Thank you.
So yes, definitely very much proud of y'all and all that you're doing. I think the thing that I admire most about y'all is that you just do it. Right? And I don't know the story behind how you get to actually to the point where, like, we're just gonna do it. But we've been talking about, you know, our YouTube channel. We've been talking about our podcast. Well, the podcast has been a recent conversation, but it's getting over that hump of just doing it. And I think that is the place where we're at now, where it's like, God is making it abundantly clear of the platform that we're supposed to have. And I'm not even talking about from like a fame and notoriety standpoint.
Yeah.
I'm talking about from a declaring God's word standpoint and from an encouraging people and pouring into people standpoint. Like once you get to a point in your life where you like, yeah, I need to be pouring and I need to be pouring, you know, in my household, in my church, and then what?
Yeah. Yep.
And so now that we're working on the and then what? Both of us are, glory be to God, incredibly talented people, right? And the thing about being a gifted person is that people are drawn to you because they want to utilize that gift. I think for us is really seeking God about like, okay, who gets access to this gift and who does not? And I mean like direct access. I'm not talking about, you know, sharing, you know, me speaking right now is me sharing my gift with the world.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that everybody gets the type of access that is purpose filled that God wants me to give to, you know, certain types of people or certain individuals. And so it's really about like navigating that. Yeah, but really I think another thing that God has really been showing me is to really pay attention to like the smaller moments. I mentioned, you know, just resting and things of that sort, but like you can endeavor towards more and more and more and more and always want more and more and more. And God is like, are you appreciating what you already have?
All right, you can get out now. All right, we can turn the cameras off. You get out.
Listen.
You being rude.
Oh,
You being rude.
I'm speaking to myself. It's like, listen, we've been, okay. So this is one thing that God, I feel like God challenged me to do. So he recorded me, when was this? About a week or so ago where I was on a realtor app. I spent time on a realtor app. Oh, that's what I'm saying. I hope this might convict you. It might not. I don't know.
It probably will.
Sneakers?
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Redfin, everything.
But like I actually was looking because I wanted to move. And there was something in me maybe a week or two ago that said delete this app. Delete this app. Like because I was looking to get more than what I already have. And meanwhile, guys, like your house is already worth what all these other houses are worth right now anyway. So like why you tripping? But that was starting to spill over into other things like, Lord, I want more, I want more, I want more. It's like, no, take what you have and value that more, and then it will be more. You know?
Say that again, please.
Run that back. Take what you have.
Take what you have and value it more, and then you will have more.
Oh my God.
So I think that's where we are now, like valuing what we have and doing more with what we have to get to the more that we desire.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
That is so good.
It's a lot of pressure that comes.
Oh my goodness.
Get this clip. No. So like for me, I'm turning 40 this year, but for some
Wait, are
reason,
you really?
Yes. Turn 40 in July.
Yeah, so that's one thing we didn't mention is like we starting to realize we the OGs of our group. Like it's not until y'all start having birthdays and all of our friend groups, we like they still in their 30s.
Did not know that.
Wait, how old are you, Cicely?
I'm 30. Yeah, I'll be 38 the end of this month.
Did not know that.
Yeah. All right. Anyway.
But despite that, I think
Black don't crack.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you that right now.
That was good. I'm gonna use that. I have been feeling more vivacious, like I'm feeling rejuvenated. Just pretty much piggybacking off of what she said. Like there is a certain like energy, is a excitement about what God is doing, the mindset that we have towards it, and how we're taking that action. I mean, just even individually, I know that I've always been an advocate for my art, but I'm just more. This kinetic energy is starting to become like, all right, I need to, like, I want to be in shows. I want to be in exhibits. I want to be, I want people to see what God has given me because I've always sat on what I could do. And now I feel like, I need to get this out.
Yeah.
Same thing with my wife, just creating more together with her because we have so much in what we want to do and what God has given us to do. And I'm finally in that bag of, all right, I'm confident. I have the tools. and I'm able to handle however this goes. And so, it's just I feel lighter. I feel more energetic about what God is doing with us.
Yeah.
The funny thing about the whole house situation, good old complacent husband. I'm like, man, what? We ain't got paintings on the wall, and she looking through trying to get another house. But yeah, I think that energy of I want more kind of also motivates me to be like, all right, pour into that. I want to give her everything that she wants. You know what I mean? Again, she deserves.
We twins.
Deserves. Legit. Like I got something pretty bomb beside me. Like I couldn't have had this. I got it, and she has locked in. The least I could do is be like, all right, let me continue to pour into that. You gave me you, let me give you me plus more. And so like lately I've been like, all right, let me, if I could, I'd be like, all right, guess what? We bought that house. Not because of that house, but because I know how she would react to it. You know what I mean? It's just that it's very reactionary. And that sounds kind of shallow, but
no, I don't think it's shallow. I think it's like
I have that energy of I want her to have what she wants.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
It's just like I was reading this morning, like how the Bible says, if your child, and again I'm paraphrasing for the theologians that are gonna try to cancel me, and Cicely's a theologian, so but the Bible talks about like how if a child asks for like bread, you're not gonna give them a stone. Right. If they ask for a fish, you're not going to give them a snake. And like us being sinful, he's like, Jesus, like you sinful people, if you know how to give good gifts, how much more does your Father know how to? And of course, I want to be in context with that text, but I think the principle is it's like it's okay to ask for nice things. But what I love, what I'm hearing from Cicely and Bria has challenged me with this as well, is just like, what's the heart behind that?
Yes,
there's a house right over here. If you look in our backyard. It's the only house in here that's got we here. It's got a basement. I want a basement.
Facts.
Why do you want a basement? I want one.
Facts.
I want a basement.
South Carolina needs to step it up, bro.
Listen, I got plans.
Yes.
I know what I want, right? And I just think it's funny how like the only house over here that has a basement is where
in
like God has shown me like I want you to see it.
Yeah.
And not in the sense like you're gonna get this next, but more so just like, can you sit in this place that you are right now while seeing something that you like and being complacent? I'm not complacent, being content where you are.
That's good.
And some days I'm like, I want to go outside. Yeah. And now it's like, I'm good. But it was just like that wrestle, again, to your point too, man, like our wives do so much, not just for us, but for our children as well. She makes it look easy but when you have them boys by yourself, they be like, "Oh, bet he alone, in him on 3, 1, 2, 3, in him." Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, if I've been in we talked about this on the podcast. I've been in the place where we had to park our car in the garage so it wouldn't get repoed, like being that fearful. I've been in the place where we in breakfast food every night, not because we like breakfast food, because we don't got no choice. Yes. You know what I'm saying?
Waffles.
Listen, so to get to a place where it's just like, hey, and I've told the story to my therapist, but just like growing up, I remember hearing my parents argue about money one time. And from that moment, I would just choose the cheapest thing on the menu, chicken fingers, and water, or something like that. And now she tells me, hey, like, you don't have to choose water. You can get lemonade. You can get this. You can get that. Yeah. And not in the sense of being greedy, but it's just like, it's okay to want nice things. Yeah. But just make sure your heart isn't trying to replace that affirmation of, am I good enough? And not trying to fill it with more square footage to think that's going to be the thing. Yeah. Now, if you need more square footage, cool. You know what I'm saying? Because these jokers getting big one day. You know what I'm saying? We're going to need some more space. Yes. And we have some plans that we want for our family, X, Y, and Z. And if that happens soon, cool. If it doesn't, will you be okay with it? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad we're not the only ones in the boat. So
mirror, bro.
Yeah, man. Hot seat questions.
Hot seat questions. I am still.
Oh no, I ain't.
Was that a jingle? Hot seat question.
Hey, she can sing.
She put the vibrato on it and everything.
I remember when Cicely used to teach. Like she just like start randomly like singing. It'd just be like a like a jingle.
I am not a singer, that's for sure.
Well, you had a question though.
I don't have a question. I'm still pondering on the fact that Cicely got my life together just now. In this word analogy,
Just
I'm
go
like,
ahead. It's all right.
Yeah.
no, that's so good. Because I'm like, listen, if you live in the more, like if you're living in a position that you are in the more, because literally we are living in a place of more. Like our past seasons of praying for something like this, we're living in it. And if you stay in that, like that mindset that you are in the more, like you will always be in that. So I'm like, you know what? I might delete the app.
Yeah, I think oftentimes to piggyback off of that, we will have moments where we'll be like, I thank God that we're able to fill in the blank.
Yeah.
I thank God we got insurance that we can repair our house.
Yes.
Or, I thank God that I can just send somebody, this amount of money just because they need it or whatever. Or you know what I mean? Like we sit back and be like, bruh, like we can do that. You know what I'm saying? My parents, they did what they had to do.
Yes.
For us to be right here.
Yeah.
And so, sometimes I take that for granted of, we really got it good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, we are not where we want to land, but we're still in a good place.
Yes.
And I think I'm thankful that she and I both acknowledge that, God is good, and he's still like, there's more. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Amen.
That's good, bro.
We got a spicy question because we said we're going to spice it up.
All right.
Now, I know
Darius is ready.
I know we talked about how, in the beginning stages of marriage, y'all had to deal with like pornography. We did too. But healthy sex wise, how has that been for y'all? Like what makes y'all's sex life healthy now? Like what's some things that y'all are doing?
Grab that mic quick,
practicing.
Right. Maybe lean up.
Help the people.
I know for us, it is in the beginning, I just roll over. There was no.
Wait, what do you mean, Darius?
There was no there was no warmth to the situation. I'm just thinking, hey, we married now.
I'm about to
You're saying afterwards?
After we got married.
No, like after sex?
No.
You just
After
roll
sex.
over?
No. Before, like my the way I show that I'm ready to have sex is just it's right there. A goes in B. And my wife is like, oh, all right, okay,
we doing this.
But I have learned.
You said spicy?
No, I'm saying like,
she's like, okay, bet. All right, so that means you want some. But I've learned with my wife that it's a not a commitment, but I put in work early. It's hey, what are you doing later? It's
you got office hours.
Hey,
right.
I'll put the kids to bed, and then
Silky D.
That means
Silky D. I mean, it really got real.
So you'll have time
real
to,
low.
to chill and then prepare yourself, like stuff like that.
Prepare yourself.
It's just I think with her, she likes to she really wants to know that I am pursuing her later, and that it's not just here I am. You know what I mean? There's definitely exactly. Here I am and here it is, but more so like, hey, I've been thinking about you all day, and so let me prepare. Let me set the day aside for us. I think that's really good for her because, like I said in the beginning, and my problem is too, full transparency. Prior to my wife, I did not have to pursue, and that.
I was about to say it.
Yes, and I snatched it out of her mouth. I did not have to pursue, so my understanding was if I'm just ready for her, the rest will work itself out. And I'm saying it in the best way to keep you off from being demonetized. But with my wife, she was like, nah, I need more than that, bro. Like, I'm not going to turn you down, but this isn't intimacy. Yeah. This isn't the intimacy that I was expecting in marriage. And so it's even, love languages. Hey, cook dinner without her having to ask. Bring it home. Get the kids ready. Rub them feet.
Rub them feet.
So y'all both cook?
She cooks more because I know my strengths and weaknesses.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Thank you.
But even when I do it, she appreciates that because she does it so much, even though she likes to do it. I sometimes I tend to rest on that she likes to cook. But I think the initiative is, I know you like to cook, but let me relieve you of that. Because that equals, but you know what I mean?
No. You're talking good. You're talking good.
My two, what's the words I'm looking for? Not hacks, but my tips for my own marriage was, express to her throughout the day that I want you.
Yeah.
I want you. And then secondly, it's always, hey, you know, I want to show that, I want to do something for you today because I want to earn you today. And she'd be like, all right, well, if you want to earn it, you gonna get what you're trying to earn. So yeah,
no, that's good.
I love that.
Yeah, I think the overall thing behind all of that is intentionality. Because there was a point in time where, you know, like even beyond the pornography stage, the healing from that, where we weren't having that much sex because we weren't intentionally making time for the other for that to even happen. And I think that there is, at least for me and what I thought marriage was going to be, I thought that it would be like, listen, we want each other all the time. We're going to be on each other all the time. And all of that will come naturally. And, you know, like he obviously wasn't the first person that I had sex with. Like, you know, I wasn't a virgin when I got married. Yeah. And it was one of those things where, I don't know where I was going with that, but like we kind of sort of think that we have to, like, it's just going to come naturally. That's where I was going. Yeah. It's like the way that I engage with guys in other relationships, it was like, man, that felt so easy to do. Why does it not feel easy with my husband? And that's when you get into like building like true intimacy. Yeah.
That's good.
And intimacy is beyond what happens in your bed, you know, or wherever you at, you know, like intimacy is long term, it's prolonged. And honestly, it's what I know I, as a wife, appreciate. I think many, if not most women, value the intimacy part of sex more than anything. Absolutely. And then that makes those moments even better. And we even talked about this after, you know, a great night of meeting together. Active worship.
Listen.
Come on, active worship.
And I was like, you know,
Hallelujah.
So y'all debrief after worship?
On this night we did.
This was great.
on this night we debriefed. And I was like, you know, I feel like we're really connecting with each other more. Like, and I didn't realize until that moment it hit me like we are really connecting with each other more, and I think that's important. Yeah. Like you can have sex with your spouse and it be great, but it be great just because, you know, y'all love each other. But there's a deeper connection that I think God intended for sex.
Yeah.
That you are supposed to experience in marriage, and in that type of connection that takes your intimacy to another level.
Nah, that's good.
And that's, you know, yeah. It wasn't easy though.
Yeah.
One more tip.
Yeah, you good.
One more tip for me. I think for me, I am not afraid to talk about our sex. During, after all that, I'm actually like, what do you like? How did you like that? What do you think about that? And I think me striving to perfect our intimacy, you know, one, shows initiative to her, me trying to be better at that area of my life. And in the end, it's just like, all right, I'm no longer treating sex so taboo, despite the fact God has given me full jurisdiction over it. And just establish the fact like, yo, you earn this. Y'all work that out. You know what I mean? Yeah. If she didn't know how to cook, if she didn't cook something the way I liked it, I would express it to her, or she'd be like, how does this taste? I think that should be in all areas, including sex. And for a time, it was kind of weird because, you know, your boy was talking about it during, and she's like, you know, just shut up and just let's just work, you know, let's work this out, and then we can talk about it after. But I've learned that, hey, you know what I'm saying? Facts, you know, I'm just being too technical, like, you know what I mean? But I've kind of learned how to be like, it ain't got to be so movie-esque of we just happen upon something that she likes. I'm like, legit, bro. So how do you know what I'm saying? Is that doing anything for you? She'd be like, that's more for you than me. I appreciate that we're at that level of not being so, not trying to be so romantic, but like, nah, bro, we like doing this. That don't mean that we've mastered it, but we could with each other. So I appreciate that about our intimacy too.
I love the honesty, because it's just like, you know, in Christian culture, it's just like, you know, when it comes to sex, the saints just get tight. Yeah. And it's just like, bro, like, be sweating and just like, That's like, bro, it's a beautiful thing. It's just we're not having healthy conversations about it. So when it comes time to come into marriage, it's like, bro, what we do, especially if your teacher has been pornography or your teacher has been the culture, which is a perverted teacher. So it's like now it's like I think that's a big wall for a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The reality is there is no avenue for anyone. Like there's every other area that you can ask someone of the clergy or whatever in your life of marriage. But when it comes to, so how do you make your sex better? Everybody's like, oh, I don't, you know, you don't just pray to God and just.
I know you lying because
Like,
doing
we know
it.
y'all
Listen.
having sex.
listen, we not praying, and I'm not gonna be behind you while you bumped over. We gonna pray about this.
No, I'm not. That's not. I need to give me some tips, bro. But it's like I get it. Like it's in the culture of church. It's always been like sex is just like it'll magically be great.
Yeah.
You know, my wife and I, we did not wait. We waited until we got married. So
Yeah.
it was like I'm having sex with a stranger, so to speak, in that avenue.
Right.
I don't know what she likes. I don't know anything. I don't know how she likes it. All that. And so it was more than just keep doing it. You know, practice makes perfect. Nah, it was like I need to figure your body out.
Yeah.
And it's not always going to be what I do, but I need you to express it to me.
Yeah.
And like I said, I mean, and I get it. There is no sex classes or no intimacy classes in churches. And if you do, shout out to y'all. But I get why. It's like, why is this part of intimacy so blank in the church? Listen, you know, I might have given somebody an idea. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what I love about intimacy and marriage is that like year 7, like I feel like our sex life is amazing. And I think it's just because you have a lifetime of getting to know someone's body, what they like, what they don't like. You get more comfortable with them.
Yes.
You know, foreplay gets more comfortable.
Yes.
And I'm just so thankful for it. And then eventually our kids
be
won't be so
thankful.
young.
Listen,
They won't be so young.
40.
Right.
You know, I was like, listen, I was scared when I was 32. She was like, listen, we're not getting younger. Respect to I have elders in my family. They like, look, I'm out the game. I ain't, you know, I woke up one morning and the junk was just like, not there anymore. You know, the libido.
Oh, Lord.
I'm keeping it funky. Like, I know that it exists in my family. You know, thankfully not in my immediate family, but I know that it exists. And so I know that this will not, like this, what we have won't always be what it is.
Yeah.
And so we want to take advantage of what God has blessed us with in this moment in our lives.
Yeah.
And not just to squander, you know, because I don't want to be 50, be like, oh, you know, back in my day.
That grown just killed me.
50 is a decade away, which is kind of
That grown sound like a good 80.
Listen,
yeah, that was a little too all put in. But yeah.
the 50-year-olds seem like they be doing stuff too. So
Listen,
don't count 50-year-olds out. Don't
it's
count
true.
50.
Listen, I hope at 50 we still at it.
Amen.
Yes. You got a question, babe?
Is more lighthearted. We talking about sex, and out of sex come children. So I want to
transition because
Right.
cause and
Birth
effect.
control.
listen. Hey, they you know they got here for a reason.
They here.
Amen. Out of your kids, or I won't say out of your kids. That sounds bad. Out of you guys, who's the more anxious parent? It's me. Like I'm the like
I'm gonna just answer it.
yeah. I'm gonna answer for me. It's me. Who is it? I have a guess who it is.
Go ahead.
You.
I don't think so. I think that I am more okay with them doing things than you are. I think that I am okay. Like, for example, dropping them off. Here's their clothes. Here's their clothes. Here's their lotion.
What about no. Like what about they like if the boys up here with Bryce and Aiden at the crib and you hear a big thud and like somebody start crying, like who's jumping up first?
That's a good question because it's probably me.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think because I want to assess the situation before she does. I don't know. That's a good question. What do you think? Do you think I'm more anxious for you?
That's hard. I think I'm more anxious when it comes to certain things, for sure. I'm like mama bear kicks in pretty quickly with me when it comes to my kids and other people. So, you know, with him, he'll let the boys walk a little further away. Like, and he'll be like, you know, just don't go after him. I just want to see how far he'll go. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to see how far he's going to go. And actually, I want him to stay within, like, right here where I can grab him.
Yeah, it's definitely you.
Hey, listen, I guess so.
Yes. He has to be in arm's reach. Like, if she can't reach him, he's too far.
Yeah, that's
And Haven is a very careful kid. He won't like he'll see his grandfather at church and still would be like, can I go? He loves his grandfather.
August.
But he still needs our permit. Gone. That joke will be outside the parking lot. You know what I mean? And I think so. I think she is more, anxious ain't the term. I think she's more careful than I am with them.
Okay, respect.
With me, like if I hear the thud, I'll be like, nobody crying? All right, cool. And I think it comes from the second kid because he'll tear his head up, get up, and keep playing. I'm like, they good. That joker is durable.
Him and Bryce might be cousins.
Yeah.
I mean, not Bryce, Aiden. Yeah, him and Aiden.
But yeah, so I think it's Cicely.
All right,
I'll take that.
Real quick, what do you for both of you? What's your favorite thing about being parents? I know there's many things, but just give me one of your favorite things.
It's like speed dating right now.
Right.
Hot seat.
I would say my favorite thing about being I like being their go-to person, like a person that they feel safe with. So Haven, our oldest, he's been having his thing with this crazy thunder that's been happening. I don't know. It rumbled for like 5 minutes. Like, why the thunder got to do all that? And he does not like thunderstorms. He don't like a lot of things, but thunderstorms is like, I'm getting up out my bed. And, I didn't know how much it would comfort me and encourage me to like be their safe place. So I think that's, I know you want to spend a deep answer, but like that's probably that is like that. Yeah. So I like that. Also, like just random conversations, like seeing them, well, mainly Haven, but seeing them learn how to like learn new things and navigate. Like he got a whole voice now.
It's great.
I'm like, you don't babble anymore. Like this is your speaking voice now. Like that's cute to see too.
Yeah.
Very cliche, but definitely same thing. It's like watching them grow. When before her, I always imagined I was like, I just want to know what my kids are gonna look like. What?
Well, they weren't gonna be light skinned.
So let's give context to that. Slight segue.
Yeah, please tell me.
Before I was blessed with my wife, my preference was dark-skinned women. And I think I was comfortable enough to share that with her that I was just like,
women.
let's come on now. Let's not segregate myself.
She said, if you're going to go down the hall.
It was just African women.
Let me clarify.
It was African women.
Okay.
No colorism here. If you like dark, I don't really care. God loves all people and I do too. But
Amen.
So
what I'm saying is that he had a preference.
But God.
But
okay?
God.
But yes, I think
I don't know why
that
triggered me, but it did.
And it always will. I think it just also kind of spoke to my self-validation. It was like, I want to know what I will produce. So I'm almost like, when I'm a parent, what is my descendant going to look like? Mm-hmm. And so now I am seeing, like she said, Haven, who is having conversations, and he'll be like, today was a very good day. Like these used to be conversations that we would imagine about.
Yeah.
And like I'm seeing him like putting his clothes on by himself.
He got dressed today.
I don't like it. Wiping himself.
Yeah.
Like I was like, bro, we made this. Like, God made him through us, but it was like I did what I was supposed to do, and we produced this thing.
Yeah.
These things, and I'm calling them things because sometimes they'll be that way. And even with August. August,
little minions.
Minions. Like we have 2 children. There was a time where we had problems conceiving. We were at our church and we were being prayed over vigorously because it was like, bro, it's not kicking. Like God is not coming through. And now to be at a place where we got 2 boys, and it's just like, again, we got to step back and be like, bro, we made those. And I think just having that tangible evidence of God in my house that just tear up and stink and want to eat and cry. I'm just like, man, I'm really thankful for these. So just watching them be.
So y'all thankful. The real question is, y'all done? Because people love slapping us in the face with that one. Wow. So I'm
a slap them in the face.
Yeah,
because
I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. Give me my camera. Yeah, we're done. Stop asking us.
Listen, when I had August, while I was in labor, I was like, this is it. 3 months later, I'm like, maybe.
Oh my.
Maybe, but
in the car on the way home.
Okay, no.
Still bust wide open.
You making up stuff.
And she talking about, I could do it, baby. On the way home from my wife had this time with August, it was 2 hours of unmedicated natural water birth. Shout out to y'all, first of all. Y'all, we just talking about not comparing.
Yeah.
My first child was 22 hours of labor, unmedicated, just bust out on the bed, just had the baby
Gotta be
natural.
bust out.
Bust out on the bed. Bust out, roll over.
Come on, bro, because y'all can't see what we see. All right, let's just keep it funky. But yes, on the way home, my wife was like, "Yeah, I can see myself with another one." And to be honest, I think a part of that, like this, I think it's a win either way for me. But I know that it's more on you all than it is on us, especially for my wife. When we was going through our process, the way that we wanted to conceive, you know, they were like, well, you know, you kind of got to make a decision to which lane you pick. And so I have been sensitive to wherever she wants to go. I am very happy with my kids.
Yep.
I am also still like, what would that girl look like? What would that girl look like?
And then we have a boy, you know. Right. So I would say that it's hard for me to say flat out no to that. Yeah. But also I know that, you know, I'm almost 40. I am content with the family that we have. And I think it's one of those things where it's like, God, if that's what you want to do, then it'll happen. You know, we even talked at one point. We did talk about adopting. You know, I mean, I don't think that's all completely off the table. Yeah, definitely. So I don't know.
You're open.
Yeah, we're open.
Darius about this.
Good. I don't want y'all trying to transition.
Cyclops over here.
What we looking like?
I said we're done, but
I consider we're done. I'm open to what life.
I know she's open.
So whatever God wants to do.
She's open.
But you know what?
if she knows we're having a girl.
I already told you.
Bro.
The prayer that
Can I talk to you?
I think it's because of my relationship with my mom. Like how good that relationship is. Like that's my bestie. So I'm like, how amazing would it be to have my own relationship like with that? So I don't know.
You don't know what she gonna do with a girl, bro.
Listen.
Well, in a similar vein though, I have thought about if God. So me and my mom don't have a bad relationship, but we're not besties. Yeah. You know, we have an interesting relationship. I love my mom to death. But there are times where I have wondered if like God wants to give me a girl to sort of reconcile the things that I haven't reconciled with my own mother. Yeah. And I haven't even shared that with you. Yeah. Face, right.
Something about this couch.
I know, right? It's what y'all got on this thing.
We'll tell y'all later.
Truth serum. But, you know, so I'm not saying that that's what's driving my decision.
Right.
That is something that I have wondered is if I am meant to have a girl to sort of be able to pour into a girl in the way that my mom was just unable to pour into me. Yeah. She poured into me in other ways, but it's like there are certain things that, you know, that I did not get, that I believe that I've since healed from, and God is like, okay, I can show you how to, because of that healing, pour it into another child.
That's real though. You saying that makes me think like, so I've always thought the fear of having another child, especially if it's a girl, like one, I'm crazy about my boys. Girl, I'm the equalizer. 1, 2, and 3.
John Wick.
Equalizer. You got 9 seconds.
Calm down. You may not need a girl.
You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing that I think about too. Like one, I think about like this, the fear of, or unlearning the fear of like provision, right? Like God, if you were to bring another child into this world, you're gonna have to provide for us for that child. You're a better provider than we are. Yeah. So trying to relinquish that. The other thing, and this is, I mean, I haven't fully processed this, so like it might be just like kind of fresh, but when you say like to reconcile with your mom, I wonder sometimes if I am afraid to have a girl because of the past, you know, like, you know, with pornography and how I treated women in the past, and then feeling like, and I know I'm not apologizing, but more so just like learning how to love you in the way that you need to. I wonder if there's parts of me, can I really raise a daughter? And just like that fear of boys. I know like children's hard, like, but hey, I'm a guy. We can figure this out.
Facts.
A girl?
Yeah.
Scares me.
Yeah.
It scares me, for real.
Yeah.
So, you know, you can hide behind the fear of like, oh man, like, you know, that's more money. But you must have sprayed some serum over here, because like that's something I've never really expressed out loud. But I wonder if that's like a part of it too. Just like, man, I don't know if.
Yeah, but I mean, I ain't no prophet, but how? No. I'm just saying, like, how often does God take the thing that we are weak in, and certainly fearful of, and make that the thing that renews us, transforms us, elevates us, changes us, all of those things,
Here she go.
I'm
ready.
I'm helping make the case.
I'm just saying, that is facts.
Mm-hmm.
That is facts.
That's
That's the new the new T-shirt.
You can even say ouch or amen. Ouch. No, that's real though. That's real.
Well, we don't want to keep y'all too long because we know.
Listen,
it is late.
She want a
ain't
girl.
no telling. Check, make sure ain't nobody. Oh yeah, we ain't got no text messages.
Well, before we land the plane, is there anything you want to shout out, like stuff that you are guys doing? I know you got your social handles. Shout your stuff out. Where can we follow you?
Oh man,
we're gonna put it in the description, but plug yourself. Plug yourself.
Definitely appreciate that. As much as we want to live this influential life, we should really work on our pitch. Follow us on.
Yeah.
Follow us on at them Corrys.
Them Corrys.
That is our joint effort. I think I'm gonna just go ahead and say it because I feel like we've waffled back and forth enough, but we could just say it. Like our podcast, The Corry Aesthetic, will be launching. I don't know when, but soon.
Let's go.
Soon, and you'll learn about that through them Corrys. For me, at Cicely Corry, but also at 3 Minute Study.
Yeah.
There it is. Where I'm sharing Bible study, things like brief Bible nuggets to help kickstart your Bible study.
Teacher.
Right? It's not meant to be watered down Bible study. It's meant to help kickstart. It's not even really a devotion. It's like a thought that I believe that God will water throughout your week. So that's something that I'm getting intentional about too. Go ahead, boo.
Darius Corry. I'm a graphic designer. I have a real passion in bringing other people's ideas and visions to life. So at Darius Corry on everything. That's my YouTube and my Instagram. I want to shout out you guys. I can't stress enough how, since we, I think we talk about how you were jealous of me when I would see you ministering, and I'm like, bruh, I felt like I should be doing something like that. I think a lot of times when I was pushed into that area is because I was like, if Austin can do it, I know I can do it, and he's doing it like he has, even at that moment, you being that young, you did it so well. And I was like, you see somebody doing it, like, man, I want to do that too. And so I was like that. And the fact that your tenacity and you all's tenacity for doing things, not letting it stop you from jumping in this avenue and excelling, obviously, because you now at 1,000 followers. But beyond that, just how you all are ministering through your family, through your family and your marriage, we really appreciate that, and it's motivating to us. Keep doing it.
Appreciate that,
you
bro.
have fans in at least us, and my prayer is that you get 10,000 more of people like us, married, unmarried, that you marry people because of you all's ministry. So thank you all.
Means a lot, man. Means a lot. Well, this was another episode of the Grown in Love podcast. Did you have anything, boo?
No.
Okay. This is another episode of the Grown in Love podcast. We thank you guys for being on with us, being the first official couple. We love you guys. And again, make sure you support them in all their endeavors. The Corry Aesthetic coming soon. Podcast. So we're excited to promote that and get that out as well. As always, like, share, subscribe, get this out, share this with a couple. There's a lot of great nuggets that I think can help no matter where you are, no matter what stage you are in the journey. And as always, continue to keep growing through what you're going through. We love you guys, and peace.